My name is Salome Dawson. My husband is Raymond Shane, and we're notorious as the crazy couple in City A. Everyone calls us a miserable pair. But only we know this marriage has long been a web spun from interests and habit no one ever truly meant to run. Until that day when the hospital handed me the diagnosis, spelled out in black and white, advanced stomach cancer. I stared at those words for a full 10 minutes. My fingertips felt as cold as if they'd been soaked in ice water. I didn't cry. I didn't panic. I just instinctively wanted to call Raymond Shane. It rang 3 times before he picked up, and a woman's sweet laughter came through, followed by Raymond Shane's indulgent tone. "Don't make a scene. I'm on the phone. What's up?" His voice went cold and sharp, like he was dealing with a nuisance. I opened my mouth, but the words "I have cancer" got stuck in my throat. I couldn't get a sound out. Nothing. Hang up. I'm busy. He hung up without waiting for me to say anything. Later, I found out that he was busy sweet-talking Rose, a college student interning at a hotel under his company. Rose looked very pure, her eyes like a little deer's, carrying an innocent kindness. Exactly the type Raymond adored. Before long, Raymond showed up at a friend's gathering with Rose and publicly declared, "I'm divorcing Salome Dawson and marrying Rose. I'll give her the most spectacular wedding in the entire city." All eyes were on me, some filled with sympathy, some watching the drama, others gloating with schadenfreude. I held the wine glass steadily, took a slow sip, and said as calmly as if I were talking about someone else, "Fine. Well, split the property according to the prenuptial agreement." Raymond clearly didn't expect me to be so blunt. He froze for a moment, then frowned. "Salome, what scheme are you up to this time?" I smiled but said nothing. Only I knew that beneath this calm surface, my insides felt soaked in poison, aching so badly I wanted to curl up. After the gathering broke up, Raymond called me over. He leaned against the car door, a cigarette pinched between his fingers, the smoke blurring his features. "Salome, I'm warning you, don't touch Rose. She's nothing like those other women. Yvonne Dawson's next surgery fees and her private medical team are all under my control. If you dare lay a finger on Rose, Yvonne can forget about her medication." I stopped in my tracks and looked back at him. "Raymond, have you forgotten the rules between us? When we got married, we had an agreement. He could have his fun, but he was never to use family matters to threaten me, especially not my sister, Yvonne Dawson. Yvonne Dawson has had congenital heart disease since childhood and has needed treatment for years. All these years, the medical bills have been shouldered by Raymond Shane, which is one of the reasons I haven't completely torn things apart with him." Raymond Shane flicked the ash from his cigarette, his gaze cold as ice. "I make the rules, and I can change them too." I didn't argue with him anymore and turned to walk into the night, back in the empty villa. A cold wind blew through the open window, chilling me to the bone. I walked to the floor-to-ceiling window in the living room, staring out at the city lights as memories replayed in my mind like a movie. I don't know how long had passed when the doorbell suddenly rang. I opened the door and saw Rose Xavier standing there, wearing the designer dress Raymond Shane had bought her, her face shy and hesitant. "Mr. Shane said he left something at home and asked me to come get it." She kept her head down, her voice barely above a whisper. "What is it?" I leaned against the doorframe, staring at her coldly. Rose's face instantly flushed. She stammered, "It's just the condoms." I couldn't help but burst out laughing, tears nearly streaming down my face. Raymond Shane is really considerate. He even makes her fetch this kind of stuff. Is he trying to show off to me? "Come in." I stepped aside to let her in and closed the door behind her. Rose Xavier walked into the living room, her eyes roaming around with a faint, hardly noticeable greed. "The stuff's in the bedroom drawer upstairs. Go get it yourself." I sank onto the sofa and poured myself a glass of warm water. Rose froze for a moment, clearly caught off guard by how straightforward I was. She hesitated briefly, then turned and went upstairs. I took out my cell phone and called my best friend, Patricia. "Patricia, help me draft a divorce agreement. Divide the assets in the way that benefits me the most. Don't give Raymond any breaks." Patricia was momentarily stunned. "Salome, are you serious this time?" "Yeah, I'm serious." I stared out the window, my tone firm. "Also, help me get in touch with the best tumor hospital. I'm going to be admitted for treatment." There was a pause on the other end. Then Patricia said, "Okay, I'll handle it right away. Don't worry. I'm here for you." After hanging up, Rose came down the stairs just then, holding a delicate box. "Mrs. Dawson, thank you." She smiled at me, that smile carrying a hint of calculated flattery. "Miss Xavier." I called out to her. I think we need to have a serious talk. Rose's smile stiffened briefly. Then she nodded. All right. We sat on the sofa, a coffee table separating us, like an impassable gulf. What do you want? I got straight to the point. Money or status? Rose lifted the glass of water on the table, took a sip, then raised her eyes to meet mine. The timid look in her eyes vanished, replaced by a resolute certainty. I want to be Mrs. Shane, just because of you. I raised an eyebrow. Do you know what kind of man Raymond is? The way he treats you well today means he can treat someone else well tomorrow. I know, Rose Xavier smiled, but I'm different from those women. I understand him. I know what he wants. Oh, I looked at her with interest. Go on, tell me. What does he want? He wants excitement, to be admired, to feel like he's got everything under control. Rose's tone carried a hint of pride. These are things you just can't give him. I didn't argue with her because what she said was true. You really think you can hold on to the position of Mrs. Shane? I looked at her. Mr. Shane's mother won't agree, and neither will his partners. I don't care about any of that, Rose said, as long as Raymond loves me. I looked at her, so naive and foolish, and suddenly felt a little sorry for her. Go ahead, I waved my hand. Tell Raymond I'll have the divorce papers to him soon. Rose stood up, and when she got to the door, she suddenly turned around and smiled at me. Mrs. Dawson, I suggest you be sensible and not go against Mr. Shane, otherwise you'll be the one who suffers. I ignored her, watching her back disappear through the door, then picked up my cell phone and called the tumor hospital. Early the next morning, I packed my things and went to the hospital alone to complete the admission paperwork. After the nurse drew my blood and I had just returned to the ward, Raymond Shane stormed in, furious. Salome, what the hell do you think you're doing? He grabbed my wrist with such force. I thought he was going to crush my bones. Mr. Shane, let's talk this through like adults, no need for roughness. I forcefully shook off his hand, rubbing my wrist, which was red from his grip. Talk. Raymond Shane sneered. You had Patricia Sinclair draft the divorce papers and even contacted the tumor hospital. Are you fishing for sympathy or trying to scheme for my property? I looked at him and suddenly felt absurd. Raymond, do you really think that in my condition right now, I'm still scheming for your property? Who knows if you're faking it? Raymond Shane's eyes were full of suspicion. Rose said you threatened her yesterday? It's Rose again. I knew she wouldn't behave. I didn't threaten her. I just had a few words with her, I said calmly. A few words? Raymond Shane raised his voice. Rose called me crying, saying you threatened her and made her leave me. Salome, have you lost your mind? I've lost my mind? I looked at him and suddenly laughed. Raymond, who do you think is really crazy here? I'm battling cancer, and yet you're with another woman. I'm suffering in the hospital, and you're listening to her schemes to accuse me. My words struck Raymond like a hammer, crashing hard against his heart. He froze for a moment, a flicker of guilt in his eyes, but it was quickly replaced by anger. Even if you have cancer, you can't lay a finger on Rose. Salome, this is the last warning. Apologize to Rose, or it'll pull Yvonne Dawson's medical team out. I looked at him, my heart sinking deeper with each passing second. I'm not apologizing, I said firmly. Say that again? Raymond's gaze darkened with fury. I'm telling you, I'm not apologizing. I lifted my head and stared him straight in the eyes. Raymond, if you dare pull Yvonne's medical team away, then even if it costs me my life, I won't let you and Rose off easy. Raymond was furious at my words. He raised his hand to hit me. Just then, my cell phone suddenly rang. It was the hospital calling about Mrs. Dawson's Yvonne. My heart instantly jumped to my throat, and I hurriedly answered the call. Mrs. Dawson, it's bad news. Miss Yvonne's oxygen tube was pulled out by someone. We did our best to resuscitate her, but the doctor on the other end hesitated to continue. But what? My voice trembled, on the verge of tears. We couldn't save her. Miss Yvonne has died. With a crash, my whole world shattered. The cell phone slipped from my hand, smashed onto the floor. The screen cracked like a spiderweb. I looked at Raymond Shane, eyes empty, tears falling like broken beads. It was him. He and Rose Xavier killed Yvonne Dawson. If he hadn't used Yvonne's illness to threaten me, if Rose hadn't poisoned his mind against me, I wouldn't have fought with him, and Yvonne wouldn't have ended up like this. Salome, what's wrong? Raymond Shane looked at me, panic flickering in his eyes. I didn't respond, suddenly shoved him away, and stumbled out of the hospital room. I'm going to see Yvonne. I have to see my sister. Raymond Shane called my name, chasing after me from behind, but I couldn't hear a thing. The only thought in my mind was, Yvonne is dead. My sister is dead. When I reached the hospital where Yvonne was, she had already been taken to the morgue. I stared at Yvonne lying on the cold hospital bed, her face pale, eyes tightly shut, like she was asleep. I walked over and gently held her hand. Her hand was ice cold. Yvonne, I'm here. Wake up. I was wrong. I shouldn't have left you here alone. I collapsed onto her, sobbing so painfully it felt like my heart was being torn apart. When Patricia Sinclair arrived, she saw me clutching Yvonne's lifeless body, crying until I nearly fainted. She came over, gently patted my back, and comforted me. Salome, restrain your grief. Death is final. You have to take care of yourself. Take care of myself? I looked up, staring at Patricia, tears blurring my vision. My little sister's dead. What use is my body now? Patricia, it's my fault she died. It was the fight between Raymond and me that killed her. It's not your fault. Patricia shook her head. It's Raymond and that woman's fault. They'll get what's coming to them.